Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers. You know we're all about earnings calls here, and today we're diving into a real sparkly one.
Ooh, sparkly.
Yeah, get ready for some bling. We're talking Signet Jewelers.
Ah, Signet, the folks behind Kay, Zales, Jared.
And even Blue Nile, that online diamond giant. They just had their Q3 2025 earnings call, and we got the transcript.
And the numbers, of course.
Right here. Ready to figure out what it all means.
Let's do it. The jewelry market is so interesting right now. You've got that classic diamond appeal.
Timeless, right?
Totally. But then you have the lab-grown diamonds becoming more and more popular.
And don't forget, all this is happening while people are being cautious about spending. Plus, online shopping keeps changing.
Absolutely. So much to consider. What were your first thoughts when you looked at all of this? Anything jump out right away?
For me, it was that Signet managed to increase same-store sales for the sixth quarter in a row. I mean, that's impressive.
I agree, 6 quarters straight, not easy in this economy. Shows they're doing something right to attract those customers.
Exactly. It's interesting, you'd think with inflation and everything going on, jewelry would be one of the first things people cut back on.
Right, it's a luxury, for sure. But Signet's bucking the trend.
Definitely. But it's not all, like, perfect, right?
No.
I mean, their overall sales for Q3 were down, even though they did better than analysts expected.
Yeah, that's true. They beat expectations, but overall sales are still down year over year. And a big part of that, it seems, is coming from their online brands, James Allen and Blue Nile.
They did not have a good quarter,
Not at all.
especially with how much they put into buying Blue Nile. That's got to sting. Did they explain what went wrong?
They talked a lot about delays in some replatforming work and then some search engine optimization issues. Sounds like it messed up their traffic.
Oh, the classic e-commerce headaches.
Yeah, those website migrations and SEO stuff. If it's not perfect, it can really backfire.
Big time.
But they did say things were getting better in November. Plus, they just got a new president for that whole digital side, Corinne Benson.
Wait, hold on. Corinne Benson, the one from Tiffany's.
That's her. And Home Depot online, too.
Wow, she knows her stuff. That's got to be a good sign for Signet.
It definitely shows they're serious about fixing things online. She's been very successful in e-commerce.
I'm really curious to see what her strategy is going to be.
Me too. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Okay, so that's the online stuff. But we got to talk about lab-grown diamonds. It's like the whole jewelry industry is changing because of them. What's Signet's take on all this?
Well, you see the impact on natural diamond prices, that's for sure. Prices are under pressure. But Signet's not afraid of the lab-grown diamonds. They're actually using them in their fashion jewelry lines.
Really?
Yeah, and it's working well for them.
That's a smart move, turning what could be a threat into an advantage.
Exactly. It lets them offer more variety in terms of price, and they can maybe reach a whole new customer base.
Yeah, like younger people who might be more open to lab-grown options.
Precisely. It's like they're giving people the best of both worlds. You have your classic diamond appeal, but also those more affordable choices.
Makes sense. Speaking of classic, what about engagement rings? Any insights there?
Oh, this is where it gets interesting. So overall, engagement ring sales were down a little in North America. But here's the thing.
What's the thing?
If you take out the online sales, they actually went up by 4%.
No way.
All right.
So excluding the digital issues, people are actually buying more engagement rings.
It seems like it. Pretty surprising given the economy.
Definitely. Maybe the engagement ring market is starting to recover.
Could be. And if that's the case, it could be a good sign for the economy as a whole. Shows people are feeling more confident.
Fingers crossed. Okay, let's switch gears to what's on everyone's mind right now, the holiday season.
Yeah.
What's Signet saying about that, and how are they getting ready?
They're actually projecting positive same-store sales for the holidays,
Oh, wow.
which is good, right?
Yeah, that's a good sign.
And Black Friday, Cyber Monday, really strong weekend for them.
That makes sense, everyone's shopping.
Yeah, but they did mention Christmas being closer this year. That might have something to do with it.
That's true. It does make a difference when Christmas falls.
Definitely throws things off a little. But it seems like they're not just relying on the holidays. They mentioned some other strategies.
Oh, like what?
Well, they've been coming out with a lot of new products, and those usually have better margins.
All right.
And they've built in some flexibility, to adjust their promotions if they need to.
That's important. Got to stay nimble.
Yeah, retail's a wild ride these days, especially around the holidays.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about their performance, those online problems, the lab-grown diamonds, even the holiday outlook. What about the actual financials? Anything interesting there?
A few things stood out to me. First, their share buybacks. They've been buying back their own stock, which reduces the number of shares out there.
Right.
And that should help their earnings per share. Always a good thing for investors. Shows the company believes in itself.
Like they're putting their money where their mouth is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's their gross margin. It's getting bigger, which is good. Seems like they're selling more of their higher price stuff.
So they're focusing on quality over quantity.
Right, which is probably smarter in the long run. But there is one little snag. It seems leadership changes are costing them some money.
Yeah, that's going to happen with a new CEO.
There's always those transition expenses, you know. Speaking of the new CEO, J.K. Simonsyke, did he say anything about his plans for Signet?
Yeah. Any hints about the future?
He didn't get into too much detail, but he did talk about finding new opportunities for growth. Sounds like he's not content with just keeping things as they are.
I mean, who would be?
He wants to take Signet to the next level.
Sounds ambitious. Any ideas what those new opportunities could be?
Well, one thought is they might focus even more on getting younger customers.
Millennials, Gen Z, that crowd.
Yeah, they're the future of the jewelry market. Signet needs to make sure they like what they see.
True. Those generations think differently about brands and shopping.
Absolutely. They've done some stuff already with the lab-grown diamonds, focusing on design. But they could do more.
What do you mean?
Maybe work with influencers, do some cool stuff in their stores, or even use new technology like augmented reality.
I like that. Meet the younger customers where they are.
Exactly. Online, in person, make it an experience that makes sense for them.
What else? Any other big opportunities you see for Signet?
They could definitely expand their services. Repairs, cleaning, appraisals, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. People always need those services.
Yeah. And Signet said that revenue from services actually grew faster than merchandise sales this past quarter.
Huh.
Interesting. I think it's smart. Services usually have better margins, plus it's a more stable income.
It's like they say, people might stop buying new stuff, but they'll always need their old stuff fixed.
Exactly.
So it's a good area for Signet to grow.
Definitely. They could even offer more specialized services, create loyalty programs, maybe partner with other businesses to offer more options.
Create a whole jewelry ecosystem.
Right. It's not just about selling the jewelry, it's about the whole experience.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
What about acquisitions? Any chance they buy up other companies?
Wouldn't be surprised. They did buy Blue Nile, remember?
Right, big move.
They could go after brands that fit specific niches, expand into new countries, or partner with companies that are doing innovative stuff with technology or services.
Lots of options.
It's about being flexible and grabbing the right opportunities. This market is always changing.
It's true. Sounds like that's the message the new CEO is sending, too.
Yeah. He wants to transform Signet, not just keep it running the same way.
Exciting times for the company, but also some big challenges ahead.
For sure. Lots of things to navigate, especially with the holidays coming up.
It'll be interesting to see how they do.
We'll be watching closely.
Okay, before we wrap things up, we got to do our what if segment here at Talk Tickers, where we get a little speculative, a little out there.
The fun part, time for some wild ideas.
Exactly. So say you're really feeling good about Signet. What's an outrageous, but maybe kind of plausible trade idea for them?
Okay, what if Signet somehow, some way, becomes a big player in the metaverse?
Hold on. Metaverse. Are we talking virtual reality jewelry?
Think about it. All those digital avatars, they need to look good, right?
I guess so. Why not?
And who better to give them the bling than the biggest name in jewelry?
I'm picturing it now.
Yeah.
Digital people all decked out, showing off their virtual engagement rings.
Right. Sounds crazy, but it's not totally impossible.
Especially with younger people spending so much time in those virtual spaces.
Exactly. And Signet's already strong online. They could build virtual stores, offer styling for avatars, even team up with those big metaverse platforms.
And NFTs. Imagine Signet doing limited edition NFT jewelry. People could buy and sell them. It could be huge.
Right. It might seem crazy now, but virtual jewelry could be a massive market in a few years.
And Signet's in a perfect spot to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. They have the name, the experience.
So there's our outrageous trade. Buy Signet stock now, bet on them going all in on the metaverse, and watch the profits roll in.
All right, before anyone runs off to buy a ton of stock, let's be real here. This is pure speculation.
Definitely not financial advice, folks. Just some fun exploring what might happen.
Do your research, talk to a financial expert, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, it's time to wrap up our deep dive into Signet Jewelers.
It's been interesting. They're going through a lot of changes, but they're also showing some real innovation.
Thanks for joining us on Talk Tickers, your home for all things earnings calls. Until next time, keep those portfolios shining in the real world or the metaverse.